Hey, what's going on, everybody? Listen, welcome to Activate Your Next Level Mindset podcast. For those of you who do not know me, I am Pastor Paulie Barra, your Next Level Mindset coach. And what I do is I empower kingdom-minded leaders just like yourself to activate your assignment, discover your purpose so you could do life, business, and ministry God's way. And the whole concept behind this podcast is really promoting Greeley's business owners. And so we want to get that out because we are exploding with business here in Greeley. So we want to be able to network. You know my 3 C's. Those of you who have followed me for some time, it's all about connection, community, and collaboration. And so today's topic, we are breaking down, I'm going to call him the merch king, all right? Because this dude created this polo and my Kingdom Linc Network hat. So shameless plug, if you want to know more about my business network, it's all about kingdom. It's Christian based, but anyone can join because we want you to get those kingdom principles inside of you so that you can run your business properly. So I got my man right here, Blake Tomasino. He is the merch king. That's the name that I've given him today. So Blake, let us know who you are, man, where you're coming in from, and then we're going to dive into conversation, bro.
Blake Tomasino, like you said, I have a clothing business where I do embroidery, screen printing, and a whole bunch of other graphic design stuff, web design, things like that. But basically, it's all about merch. I love the Merch King. That's awesome. I might have to adopt that. But
Hashtag Merch King.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, just making clothing for local businesses here in Greeley.
Nice. See, that's the awesome thing, man, is being able to just connect with people. So we were able to connect through this network called Team Network. That's how we plugged in, and immediately, man, just your smile, just your magnetic personality. I'm like, okay, I need to connect with this dude. And so we grabbed some coffee. We talked about business, and we had some stuff made. And so once I got these polos, I'm like, okay, this is fire. And so this is the guy right here. So tell us a little bit about the passion behind the merch. Is there like a story? Is there something that inspired you to be like, you know what, I'm gonna create something? Because I look at it this way, Blake, is you're not only creating merch, you're creating design. You're creating from your dome, right? You are putting to work all of those things as a creator, right? So tell us about how it all started, the passion behind it, and let's go, man.
First thing that I went to school for was entrepreneurship and innovation, was a degree that I got along with economics.
Got it.
So with that, I always wanted to start a business, but I didn't know exactly what.
Right.
When I was in school, I actually wanted to start a distillery, which I ended up working at a distillery, kind of led me into this path, but I wanted to start some kind of business. And then I took a trip to Florida over the summer, and I worked with a distillery. There I found out that I really didn't want to run a distillery. There's a lot to it, and so I kind of lost where I wanted to go, and I had to figure out what else I wanted to do. And so clothing, I've always loved clothing. I've wanted to start a clothing brand since I was in high school.
So why? Why did you want to create a clothing brand?
I think I just loved trying to be like myself as best as I could. And I always loved having unique like items, like a funny shirt that nobody had, or a cool hat that nobody else had, or something like that. So I wanted to start something where I could make those cool items for other people to kind of express themselves and show themselves through their clothing.
So you're talking about unique brand, and you're talking about creativity. So explain your hat, because when I'm listening to you, I'm like, okay, well, explain to the people what that hat is all about.
Yeah, so this shows the brand high-low, smiley face and a frowny face. Really, it's all about the highs and lows in life, and kind of through my journey of where I didn't know what I was going to do, what business I was going to try to start. That journey kind of took me through, you know, the highs and lows of life and how I wanted to center my brand around that. So that's kind of how I came up with the name, and when I started making clothing, I stuck to the high-low brand.
That's awesome, man. And we love it. We love it. I mean, this right here, bro, he just walked in with this KLN hat, and I was like, this is fire. And so just being able to see what you're doing and how it all transpired, I love the whole fact of the high and lows in life. Let's talk about that for a minute. Were there situations that were in your life that caused you to understand those highs and lows? Because the reason that I'm asking that is that we're in a place in life right now where everything is on social media and everything looks perfect. Everything looks fantastic. Even this podcast, let's just face it, this is fire. So a quick plug to Linc Library here in Greeley, Colorado. If you have not tapped into this podcast space, I encourage you to do so. Get with my man Joshua Valdez. I've been coming here for about 6 months now, and it is amazing. But I want to talk about those areas in life, right, where people don't really talk about. Like, I know my lows were addiction. I kind of self-recovered myself back then, I thought, but knowing now it was God. We just did this men's breakfast this last Saturday, and we had ages ranging from 25 to 70. And I was asking the questions about how many here doubt? Every hand raised. How many here worry? Every hand raised. How many here have insecurities? Every hand raised. So that showed me, like, no matter what age you are, you're still faced with those challenges. Was there a time in your life, because obviously it inspired you, High-Low Designs? I want to bring that message to the world. Was there that space in your life, because you were talking about identity earlier, like I really didn't know what I wanted to do. That's identity, man. Break that down for us, bro.
Yeah. So a lot of it came from out of college. Again, didn't know what I wanted to do. I had a business degree. I had 2 business degrees. Didn't know what I was going to do with them. Started applying around, and I was getting pretty anxious about that. So I had a lot of anxiety, kind of getting forms of depression of, you know, I went through a lot of interviews and wasn't getting the jobs that I really wanted. And so that was a pretty low part for me. I took up meditating, and I love meditation now. And it's something that really helped me balance everything and helped me learn that, you know, the lows are a part of life. Throughout the highs and lows, you just keep going. And it's kind of what sparked the brand.
That's so good, man, because those are all part of the ebb and flow of life. Without the highs, then there's only lows. So I base it off of, a lot of people will say, and we've heard it all over social media, stay away from the negative people, stay away from the negative people. But I have a concept behind that. So just follow me here, all right? Those of you who are watching, remember, hit that subscribe, hit that bell, get notified when we do go and post. But I've got a concept behind it. So when you look at a battery's full of power. It starts your car, batteries in our phones, batteries for anything remote, battery on this timer, all the things, right? No matter how it's charged, something is holding that power. But anything that is DC has a plus and a minus. I explained it to this content creator one time, and I'm like, but we need the negative. And he said, what do you mean? And I said, we need the negatives in life. When you look at the battery, it's a negative and positive. When you connect those two to the right source, to a light bulb, these lights that are shining on us, right? That's the only way that they're going to work. So it's what you're saying is, like, those lows, those have to happen in order to appreciate the highs.
Oh, yeah.
You follow what I'm saying? That's my concept of the negative and positive. Now, I'm not saying go hang out with a bunch of negative people, but that negative is going to spark something in you. And here's the thing that I've learned. We hate our own tendencies when we see it in somebody else. So sometimes when somebody's rubbing us the wrong way, it's really, I hate that because I do it well. And I'm trying to work through that, but you're really rubbing me on the wrong side of the sandpaper. If you have anything to add to that, I would definitely love to know, like, how do you decipher and how do you work through the highs and lows?
I think it's just such a part of everyday life, especially being an entrepreneur and starting a business. You go through so many lows for sure. Yeah. But almost every single one makes you better. You have to go through those lows, just like you said, to get to the highs and even appreciate where you are when you're kind of in the middle. I know through tons of failure, it's made my business now be able to work. You know, at the beginning, sure, I was close to quitting and didn't want to do some of the things that I had to do to trial and error and find the way. But, you know, through time, you finally get there. And just like you said, those lows are an important part of it.
How many years have you been in business?
About 3.5 now.
Are you exactly where you want to be in your business?
Probably not even close. Well, I'm happy that I'm here, for sure. You know, I'm happy that it stayed afloat. Definitely looking back, I thought that I'd be, you know, big old shop right now.
By 3, boom, I'm rocking,
all that stuff. So not there yet, but there's still a gradual trajectory upwards. So
talking about highs and lows, do you find yourself in different seasons throughout the year that you're like, oh man, I'm kind of low right now, but then you prepare? And then how do you do that? And the reason that I'm asking is because there are business owners that are listening in right now that are probably 2 to 3 years in.
Yeah.
I've got my daughter-in-law that is about to launch something next year that is huge. It's like $1 million concept. But speak to the people that are in it for even 3.5 years thinking, man, I should have been at this place by now.
Yeah.
Speak to that. Like, how do we maneuver through that, bro?
Yeah, I think for anybody listening, it's I don't think you're ever gonna really be where you think you should be or where you wanted to be in the past. For the most part, like this entrepreneur stuff is a grind. And I started my business, Paul knows this, out of my parents' house.
Yeah.
And now I work out of my house and their house. So I've got, my business is from out of homes. I've still been able to make it work, and I'm still growing. I'm expanding my equipment. I'm upgrading things. So just keep going, keep grinding. And with that extra time, if you're going through lows, definitely take the time to work on yourself, I know you're big on this. Go to the gym, work out.
Yeah.
Wake up earlier, try to be productive, things like that.
I love that, man. Just the whole concept of what you were saying before this part of the conversation. You said all those failures, right, are all part of that. And what I'm hearing is journey. Really embrace and enjoy the journey. And I know that that's what you're doing. Even in those down times, what I've learned, and I'm sure you've learned it too, is like, that's when you get your rest. Take the time, go on a vacation, go on a hike, go for a walk. Sleep in, because those times are going to shift. So we can't base our decisions off of a temporary circumstance, right? So we're in that temporary season of, okay, I'm grinding, I'm doing the thing, but I know there's an end result. So something that I came up with a few months ago was faith plus obedience equals results. So as long as you have faith in God, right, and in yourself, because I think for a lot of believers that might be watching, we put it out there like, I'm trusting God's going to do this. But God's like, yeah, but I'm trusting that you're going to do your work too. You follow what I'm saying? So faith in yourself, the obedience of every day, like you say, wake up a little earlier, go to the gym, go for a walk, whatever that looks like.
I struggle with those things too. I don't mean to make it sound like I do that great, but yeah, it's a challenge. But I try to challenge myself to be better at those things.
That's awesome. So how do you overcome that challenge every day?
Yeah, I think it's, sometimes you just wake up a little less motivated than before, and maybe the next day even less. I found myself in that a couple of times. And I think what's really helped me, especially this year, like you said about kind of the seasons changing, winter is kind of slow for the clothing business. And so during that extra time, kind of getting a little less motivated, even though I have all this free time. So something that I've started to do and work on is creating a schedule for myself that I really stick to. Instead of being the boss of myself and just kind of doing whatever I want every day, a lot of structure. Right. I really tried to find a structure. I used ChatGPT. Laid out like what would be a good structure for me, told it about my business, and I'm really trying to stick to that. So I've done it for the last 2 months, and it's helped a lot. So that's awesome. Just sticking to a structure and trying to get better.
I love that. Work on yourself, because no one is going to pour into you like you, right? Or surround yourself with the right people that are like, hey man, I'm going to pull you away from this. Let's go play some golf, because you love to play golf, right? So we're going to go do this. We're going to go do that. Allow those people to pour into you that are watching you and seeing you're getting burnt out, man. Let me pull you away from this. Those are the quality people that are in our lives. Blake, this has been amazing. So do us a huge favor. First, what words of wisdom would you give a person that is on day one of their business venture?
It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
And just take it day by day.
So what would you tell the person that's 10 years in?
10 years in, probably a little different. Hopefully you're not trying to give up by then. But 10 years, I'm trying to imagine for myself too, because where do I want to be like in 10 years and look at it?
It's a good question, right?
I think I think that's a good point, is maybe have your goals, and if you're at 10 years, I need to set some goals for my 10 years and what I want that to look like. So if you're at 10 years, maybe see what the next 5 years is. Look ahead 5 years, see where you can grow, see what maybe you can
tweak.
Yeah, tweak your business, kind of find another avenue, things like that. So yeah, maybe look ahead and keep goal planning and see where you can go.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Blake Tomasino, the Merch King. Let us know how we can connect with you, bro, whether they're local or online, because you will take orders from somebody who's in New York, right?
Yeah.
We never pass up business, all right?
Yeah, I ship out to Canada. I've got a client out there that I make a bunch of hunting gear for.
Nice.
But yeah, and also thank you for the opportunity to be on this podcast. It's awesome.
He's the first guest. So I promised him when I
Set the
launched
bar
it.
low so we can get better guests.
I told him, I said, listen, the very first podcast that is coming out is going to be you. I said, just let me figure out how it's going to look. But here he is. So this is episode number 1 of this session of Activate Your Next Level. So how can they get in contact with you, bro?
Yeah, so I've got 2 websites. One is for the business side. So if you're a business or somebody who wants merch, it's highlowdesign.com, and that's HILODZN.com. The other one is High Low Clothing Co., highlowclothingco.com, and same spelling, HILO clothingco.com. On that website, I do more of my own branded clothing. It is rebooted, so I took down a lot of my old stuff, and I'm starting to now place new stuff in there. But the other website is where you can find my business services and reach out to me for a project.
Sounds good, man. And all those details will be down in the show notes and the description of this YouTube channel. Those of you who are watching it on LinkedIn, you want to click the link that's in the description as well to get the full podcast, because you don't want to miss out on any of this. Blake, my brother, thank you so much, man, for coming in today with this opportunity of being my first guest, bro.
Yeah,
I appreciate
thank you.
it, man.
This is awesome.
So we'll see you guys on the next one, and you have a blessed day, bro.
You as well.
Thanks, man.